Welcome to the Big Bear Homestead. Our first video in our water trapping series is going to be on beaver trapping. And in the first video on the beaver trapping is we're going to show you how to set a 330 Conibear, which is a body gripping trap, on a crossover. Now over here is the crossover where you can tell when the difference between the tops of the dam. And you can see all the sticks and stuff laid up, and then you can see right here how it's all just smooth and stuff right there. So what that tells us is the fact that the beavers use this area to come over the top of their dam to go on and do either more work downstream or to go get feed sticks to be able to bring them back to where they're living. Plus the fact that it is 11 degrees out here in Georgia today. We've got bubbles underneath our ice, and these bubbles show us the trail that our water animals are taking, whether it's a beaver, otter, muskrat, whatever. So, and it leads right here to this crossover. So what we're going to do, and then plus you'll see how the bubbles trail down and they go down into the channel down there. And that channel is way deep. I thought my first video was going to be on how to set a dive set, but it's 11 degrees outside and I got a tiny hole in my waders up around my stuff, and I love y'all, but I don't love y'all that much. So we're going to do the crossover set first. And what you do is you have your 330 body gripping trap right here. This is a kill trap. Okay? This is the most powerful Conibear, to my knowledge, that is out there. They're always getting new stuff out every day. So we are going to set this little crossover with our 330. So we get our springs right. This thing does not want to cooperate with me today. Not used to wearing gauntlets. Doesn't usually get this cold here in Georgia. Okay. Now, boom. We got our 330 there. Now you can see these little hooks right here on the springs. These are safety clasps. Okay? This is your trigger. That's your dog right there. Boom. Okay? Now, another thing that I like to use, let me pull it out here. This, especially for the beginner, and even some of the old-time trappers still use it. That's almost scary. Is a Conibear safety tool. Okay? Because sometimes when these things are set, like as you can see, they can come undone. But sometimes your safety spring latches will slide off without you knowing. So all you do is you just hook your little safety like that. Now what that does is it doesn't let this Conibear fire. Okay? So you can manipulate it and move it around all you want to, and if the trigger comes undone, that's as far as it's going to go. It's right there, and you can still move it, and then you just grab it and reset your trigger. Okay? It saves your hands, forearms, body parts. Now, I've watched a lot of guys on the YouTube videos that they get a perfect set and they come back to find out they left their safety on. So what I've done is I've taken a 550 cord, I tied it to the end of that, and then I tied it to the little D-ring on my chest waders So that way when I go to get up, it'll pull on me if I forgot to take it off. So it's just another one of them free little tricks of experience that I'm giving you guys today. Now, personal preference on where to set the trap. Some guys would like to set it right up top here and get them right when they were in the crossover. I used to be that way until my son caught that big honking beaver that's as big as he was, and he set it down a little bit on the crossover trail. So I'm going to take one of my son's tricks, and today I'm going to set this one off for the crossover just a little bit to catch them in their speed when they're coming up and over. And so all you do is you find a spot where you can set your 330 in there, and you can manipulate these springs to make your trap go up higher or lower on how you want it to sit. For this situation where I'm at, I want mine to sit right about there, okay? And then all you do is find you some sticks that are inside the dam to use it to stabilize your trap. You don't really want this trap to move. See how it moves a lot right now? When we get done, it won't move. But then again, it might be kind of hard for me to find some good sticks since everything is frozen. Now when you're placing these sticks in, you want to notice how I'm placing these sticks on the inside of my springs. You get it? And that's one of the nice things about beaver trapping, is the beavers will put all of your tools beside your traps and wire and stuff right up here close for you. See how a little bit more stable that is? And you put your sticks in between the springs, that way it doesn't put any restriction when your springs pop open, and it's a good kill and the animal's not sitting here suffering. You see? And there's a good set. Now, you always want to anchor your traps off to something, no matter what. I know it's a kill trap, and you know, we might only get a small muskrat in here, or a small otter, or a kit beaver. But if we get the big behemoth beaver like my son caught, you know, he might wear this trap like a Mr. T starter kit around his neck for a little bit. And that's just because the only part of his body that was able to fit through there was his head. And so sometimes that happens, and it takes him a few minutes. It sucks, but it does happen. So I'm going to go ahead and take my safety off. Well, I'm going to leave that safety on first. I'm going to take my safety springs off. Okay, and then I take my little Bridger Conibear safety lock off. Okay, I put it back in my pocket. I bring, this is my walking stick to help me stabilize myself, especially here on the ice. And then I got this nice little log right here that I can stretch my chain out, wrap my wire to, and then I'm done. So, what did we go over? We went over how to identify a crossover, we went over what type of trap to use in this situation. And let me add a little bit to that. Normally, I love to put my Duke number 4s right here on a crossover on a drowner. But right now it's so stinking cold here. My biggest fear, and I'm not very experienced at setting underneath ice. My biggest fear is that because of the ice, it will hinder my drowner, and the beaver would either A, chew his foot off, or I'd come back in the morning and he'd be standing here looking at me. And that's a fight I don't want to get into. Plus, I don't think, with the trying to be as humane as possible with my choices of what I'm setting, I just don't think in this type of situation that setting a foothold to go to a drowner is the best option. So that's why I'm going with the Conibear. But normally when the water's free flowing, I'm nailing them with that Duke number 4. And in a couple of days when we warm back up like we're supposed to, we'll come out and change this out and put the Duke number 4 here, and then we'll show you something. We went over where to place our sticks. We went over the purchasing and getting our Conibear safety. I think I got this from the great people at Minnesota Trap for, I think it was like $3 or $4, I think, maybe. It's worth its weight in gold when it comes to saving your digits in your hands. When we went over how to set the trap, boom, boom, boom. So, this is the first video on your water predators, setting a 330 Conibear over a crossover. Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.bigbearhomestead.com. Give us a like on the old Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and have a nice day.